Hello and welcome, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Lunch with Lisa. I'm Lisa Warner. I am the author of The Simplicity of Self-Healing, and I teach my clients how to take command of their own health and healing. So my story is that I ended up facing cancer. And when I looked at the pre-paved path that the medical model had laid out for people who are facing cancer, I wasn't really thrilled with that path. I wasn't really up for the options of chemo or radiation or radical surgery, all the follow-up visits, and then remission and having to be checked every few months to make sure it's not coming back. That wasn't my path. I knew the moment that I realized I was facing cancer that I had gotten myself into that mess, and it was up to me to get myself out. So in that moment, I chose to take command of my own health and healing. And what I learned along my journey was I learned that each and every one of us have this ability. There's nothing special about me other than the fact that I chose to make it my business to learn how to heal myself. And when I learned how to heal myself, I had to look in a completely different direction than that pre-paved path that the medical model has laid out for us. I had to start finding my own answers. And when I started looking for my own answers, where do you think I looked? Well, first I started looking for it in the direction of foods. What foods am I supposed to eat? And it wasn't long, within a few days, I realized that was not the path that I was looking for. So I started asking the universe, the higher power, my higher self, the soul, source, whatever names you want to call it. I started asking for higher level guidance. I started asking, what do I need to know about this in order to heal myself? And the thing is that when we start asking these questions, the universe answers every single time. But we have to be in that space of receiving the answers. So we have to get quiet, and we have to start tuning in to that higher level guidance. And when we start tuning in to that higher level guidance, we start receiving higher level answers. So when I ask most people who's in charge of your health, not only do I get an odd look, but the word "my doctor" comes in there a lot. And the problem with this is that when we put somebody else in charge of our health, then we are not the ones that are in charge of our health. And we had better hope that that other person that we have placed in charge of our health actually knows what our personal body needs. Each and every one of us, body, mind, and soul, we are the soul coming into the body to have a physical experience. Each and every soul has one physical body that they're in charge of. I am in charge of this body. You are in charge of your body. The doctor is in charge of their body. I'm not in charge of your body, nor is anybody else in charge of mine. But we have all been taught since birth that doctor knows best. and that we need to look to the doctors to fix us when we're not feeling well or we think there's something wrong with us. Unfortunately, this places us at a severe disadvantage. Having to rely on somebody else to manage our own body puts us in a place of victim. We become the victim of our own circumstances, our own bodies. When I found myself facing cancer, I knew exactly how I had gotten into that pickle boat. I knew that I was living in stress, in fear, in doubt, in worry, constantly. I knew that my mental and emotional state was directly responsible for my physical state. And I knew that nobody else was in charge of fixing my mental and emotional state. So I took it upon myself to figure out my own mess. And when I did that, it became the most empowering act of my life, probably of any lifetime I have ever lived on this planet. I became the one in charge of my own health. And the answers I received about healing and health along my journey were far, far different than the answers that the medical model provides. The medical model's answer is pills and protocols, and more pills and more protocols, and follow-up visits and checkups, and on and on and on. My answer was, hey, I'm healed, I'm done. And as I learned how to heal, I also learned how to stay healthy. I also learned how to keep my own body fully in balance. And once you know how to keep your own body fully in balance, then it doesn't go out of balance. And if it does, you can bring it right back into balance. Health and healing are literally no-brainers. Body heals automatically, and we are designed for health. It's our blueprint. Health is our blueprint. It's our default setting. It's only when we allow the mind and the emotions to run wild, when we start feeling at odds with the world, and we don't know how to rectify that situation, when we don't know how to manage our energy, when we don't know how to clear out other people's energy, when we don't know how to get rid of the anxiety or the fear. And we just keep holding on to them and living in that state. Every time we're in a state of fear or doubt or guilt or worry, we feel those things in our bodies, and our bodies respond to those feelings. Those feelings, when we are feeling stressed or worried or guilty or under attack, whatever it is, anxious, our bodies feel that too. And our bodies take action to defend themselves against whatever emotional perpetrator seems to be attacking us. When we don't know how to manage our emotions, when we don't know how to keep body, mind, and soul in alignment, then we're not in charge of our own health. And our own health tends to decline really quickly but it's so not necessary. We've simply never been taught. We've never been taught how the universe works. We have never been taught how to manage energy. We have never been taught how to manage our emotions, how to deal with the slings and arrows that life sends us. But it's actually not that difficult. It's really not hard. And once we learn these little tricks and tools, we can literally live a higher octave of existence. We can live healthy and happy. But we have to look beyond the idea that somebody else has to fix us. We have to look beyond doctor knows best. We have to know best. It's up to each and every one of us to know best about our own body and to stop relying on other people to tell us what's wrong with us, because there's nothing wrong with us. There's not a single thing wrong with any of us as beings. But we live in a society that is very, very broken. And we've been trying to fit ourselves into a broken society. It's time for healing on all levels. When we heal ourselves, we start to heal our society as well. It is time. We're being called for the grand healing of humanity. Over the next months and years, many, many, many new truths are going to come out. And we're going to find out that we as humanity have been suffering for a very long time. And we don't need to be suffering. We have been kept in states of suffering on purpose. And the only way to stop the suffering, to end all wars on this planet, including our battles with diseases, is for us to take our own power back. And it's time for us to be in charge of our own bodies. And the great news is that it's actually simple. Why? Because it's our design. We are designed for health. We are designed for healing. But we have to be open to looking for our own natural design. So if you're ready to take your health into your own very capable hands, and you're not sure how, please reach out. This is my specialty. I teach my clients how to be in charge of their own health. I teach them how to free themselves from the medical systems, how to be in charge of their own bodies so that they can heal and then they can stay healthy for the rest of their lives. If you're ready, please reach out. You can find me at connectingyoutoyou.com. I look forward to speaking with you. Thanks so much for joining me. Hey, Kinsey. Thanks for hopping on today. All right. Until next week, create for yourselves a great week. Take command of your week and have some fun. Thanks for joining me. Till next week. Bye for now.